Morning, everybody. It is 8:12 a.m., September 22nd. Welcome to my channel. Now we're over that quad witching, over the quad witching now. So we should have a little more normal market movements back this week. A lot of money, I think it was a record amount of money, came off the books on Friday. So now, of course, we're down and we're looking, we're trying to possibly take out the lows of Friday. I know some things going around the weekend where Trump with the H-1B visas that he's going to charge $100,000 to companies. I guess some of the markets don't like that because that could hurt some, I guess, technology hiring and stuff like that. So that's what's going on there. We'll get into it a little bit, hit the expected move to the upside in the QQQ on Friday. And then what happened? Closed below it. Right? Closed below it. We did have a couple stocks that did close above their expected move last week, like GE. Who else did it? Google. They didn't go crazy. Remember, Google did it on last Monday. Meta hit its expected move, but then closed within. Tesla hit its expected move, closed within. Apple actually went over expected move to the upside. So pretty some nice buying. On SPY, the SPY went sideways on Friday. Pretty much an inside day. It didn't take out the lows of the previous day or the highs. Kind of had support, I guess you could say, from the previous day's lows. All right, now we open up this morning inside Friday's range for the overnights. All right, and we have a lot of Fed speak this week. A lot of Fed speaking this week. Okay. Have to see how the volume will be. So far, the volume's not that bad. I know there's Rosh Hashanah this week. I'm not sure if that's going to affect any trading volume. It might, not sure. But we'll have to see. Okay. And Fed Powell speaking this week, too. So a lot of other Feds speaking, but Powell is also speaking. All right. So without further ado, why don't we get into it? Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile, buying profile to find structures in the market along supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me find structure in the markets. All market internals helps me find out what's under the hood. Anchored view ops. My book map helps me execute, and of course, the weekly expected move helps me with my swing trades, which I haven't been doing a lot of lately, just because I don't really have a lot of conviction in where the market's going to go right now. Now, this isn't a prediction, but I don't know why. I have this little feeling we're not done with September, generally the most seasonally bearish month of the year. Okay? It's the most, right? And we're making all-time highs. Well, September's not over. Let's see if these markets can give us some September. I don't know. A lot of times when you think like that, all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute. September, I guess, is rearing its head. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. All right, we'll see. Now, hopefully, you guys join me every morning. Subscribe, set an alert to my channel. Give you the market story. I give you all the economic calendar, the market news, the leaders and laggards, which is basically why stocks are moving, right? Give you a bunch of technical analysis, and I give you the long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ and the ES futures. All right? So, if you want some more in-depth coverage of the markets, intraday coverage, you're going to join my Confluence Trading. Okay, that's my Discord. Go to the YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. There you'll get a bunch of stuff, live market commentary, my trades, videos of my recap. I even had a trade reflection, a trade I took on Friday, which I shouldn't have, which happens to everybody. And again, in my trading journey here, I don't really take trades very rarely that are so horrendous, meaning like they're just no setup, there's no value to them. But when you have a process and you step out of it, that's breaking the rules, right? Like it's like this trade I took was like wasn't horrible. It wasn't like, oh my god, there was like zero of my criteria. There was, but I let the previous canceled trade that I made a trading error affect me a little bit. And that, happened to happen 2 Fridays in a row. Now this wasn't a whole horrendous day of losing, but that's why trading's hard, folks. Because you're not robots. All right. Try to be real with you guys. All right. But anyway, I'm going to, once I'm done with this, you get my weekly expected move indicator for free. All right. I have ran my script. So my script is run. I just didn't update this yet. Okay. I will update it after the feed, after the stream. All right. Now I believe we can get right into futures watch list here. Let's see what's moving markets. Now we got a VIX that's up 4.6%. 4.6%. Okay. So I just lost my train of thought. All right, let's look at these futures. So we got silver's up 1.93. I love that. Gold's up 1.28. 30-year bonds pretty much flat. 10-year yield down 0.12. Dollars down 0.17. Russell's down 0.24. ES down 0.34. The Dow is down 0.37. The Nasdaq's down 0.39. Crude down 0.63. Bitcoin's down 2.21%. All right. Ethereum down 5.8%. Wow. All right. Max 7 Plus. Let's check it out. Tesla is up 0.76. Apple up 0.58. And then you got a bunch of laggards. All right. We're going to start with the 50 percenters at least. Eli Lilly down 0.53. Broadcom down 0.56. Google down 0.59, Microsoft down 0.60, Nvidia down 0.74, JP Morgan down 1.58%. That's pretty interesting with JP Morgan. Well, it had a dividend. That might be some of it. Coinbase down 2.7% with the weakness in Bitcoin. Okay. Now, let's see if there's any top sectors. Yeah, let's just real quickly. Laggard here is Disney down 1.24 and United Healthcare down almost 1%. All right, moving on to some granulars. Some granular list here. ASML, man, I dumped that stock with some profit in around 750s. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. ASML's charging ahead, up 3.38. Also at junior miners at $33. They're at 93. Ouch, that hurts. Applied Materials up 1.24%. Now let's look at the laggards here. Mara Mining up down 3.77. Quantum Computing, the IonQ down 3.75. Oklo, which has been on a meteoric rise, down 3%. Reddit down 2.45. MicroStrategy's down 2.26. And the Riot down 2.23, which in the Bitcoin ETF is down 2.14. That's what you got going there. Oop, hold on a second. Moving on to sectors. Staples is flat. Now you got a bunch of flats here. Healthcare, staples, basic materials, utilities. All right. But then we go to the bottom here. And we have semis down 1.13. Industrials down 0.52. Financials down 0.54. Now here's the key here, right? Financials is down 0.54. Now financials is around 14% of the market cap weight in the S&P 500, and you got 34% of the technology is the market cap weight. That's roughly let's just call it 50%. That's crazy. Two of them are like 50% of the market cap weight. Two sectors, and they're down. Okay. Those are the two ones. If you're a bear, you want to be weak. If you're a bull, you don't want to see those sectors weak. Okay? All right. So that is definitely risk off this morning. Now, let's move over to some economic calendar. We'll get into some news. All right. So let's go to the economic calendar. What do we have? Oop. We have Monday today, 8:30 Chicago Fed, 9:45 Fed Williams, 10 a.m. Fed Muslim, 12 p.m. Fed Bart. Wow, a lot of Fed speak today, boy. Fed Hammock. Tuesday, more Fed speak. Fed Chair Powell speaks tomorrow at 12:35 p.m. Wednesday, new home sales, more Fed Daily. Thursday, Fed Goolsby, GDP numbers, jobless claims, more Fed speak. Friday, you have more Fed speak in the core PCE. Core PCE. Okay? More Fed speak in Michigan consumer sentiment. All right? So it's the story of this week is Fed speak. Right? The story is Fed speak. Let's see if there's anything with Trump today. That's not what I want to do. Let's look at it here. Yeah, it's all Fed speak. Let's see. 1 o'clock is a White House briefing with Levitt. Trump announcement on medical findings at 4 o'clock. That's what I'm seeing here. All right. I don't really see much here to talk about. Let's go to Fox. Let's go to stocks. Some stock news here. Fox. Stock rose 4.1% after President Donald Trump said in an interview on Sunday that Rupert Murdoch and his son, I'm going to say that's Lachlan, maybe I'm saying that wrong, are likely to be involved in the deal to save TikTok in the United States. ASML, ADRs rose 3.4 as Morgan Stanley upgraded stance on the world's biggest supplier of computer chip making equipment to overweight from equal weight. Snap stock soared 6.3 after the parent company of social media platform Snapchat confirmed its plan to release consumer-ready spectacles in 2026. Let's see. Coinbase stock dropped 2.7% with crypto-linked stocks falling after more than 1.5 billion in bullish positions were liquidated on Monday. So bullish positions liquidated on today, right? T-Mobile stock fell 1.1% after the telecom giant named current chief operating officer Sinri Gopalan as the company's next chief executive officer. That's all I want to talk about there. Let's get over here. U.S. tech shares fall as Trump slaps steep new fees on H-1B visas. That's what I was talking about earlier. Shares of U.S. technology companies slipped on Monday after President Donald Trump unveiled steep new visa fees as part of the immigration crackdown, raising concerns over high labor costs and tighter access to skilled workers. Okay. Google seeks to avoid ed tech breakup as antitrust trial begins. Musk's robo-taxi plans for San Francisco alarmed. Confused regulators emails show. Pfizer closes in on a $7.3 billion takeover of anti-obesity drug maker Metsera. Pfizer is closing in on a potential $7.3 billion takeover of weight loss drug developer Metsera. The Financial Times reported on Sunday. Okay. Let's move on. Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft shares of U.S. technology companies slipped after President Donald Trump unveiled steep new visas as part of immigration crackdown, raising concerns over high labor costs and tighter access to skilled workers. The Trump administration said on Friday it would ask companies to pay $100,000 per year per H-1B visa working visas, prompting some big tech companies and banks to warn employees to stay in the U.S. or quickly return. Analysts said the impact should be moderate, given that the fees apply only to new applications, but warned that a constrained supply of skilled workers in the U.S. may push wages higher and squeeze margins. So that's what's going on there. Let's see. It says Oracle in talks with Meta for a multi-year cloud computing deal worth about $20 billion. Let's see. Oklo, Wedbush raised its target price to 150 from 80. Okay. This is all about nuclear energy, Oklo. And I don't know a ton. I do know that Oklo doesn't even make any money. It's just like rising high. Roblox JP Morgan raises target price to 160 from 150. That's about it, folks. Picture of the day. Moving on, folks. Let's just check out if there's any upgrades here to talk about. Let's look at them here. We talked about them, some of them already. We have Applied Materials upgrade, ASML upgrade. We talked about that earlier. Okay, let's see downgrades. This is not downgrades. Crocs. Crocs downgraded. Lennar downgraded. Interesting. Keurig Dr. Pepper downgraded. All right. Let's look at our trusty breath charts real quick. This is just the percentage of stocks in the S&P 500, basically 500 stocks. How much percent over their simple day 20 moving average? It's 45%. 45%. So this market overall is really not that strong. But again, market cap, weight, S&P. That's how the market moves. Doesn't matter if the markets the lesser market cap, smaller market caps don't really move markets. They just don't. So that's just how it works. And the Dow is different. It's like price cap. That's interesting. It's like the higher the price, the more market cap it has in the Dow. So very, very interesting. So now we're going to move on. I think we're ready for some daily charts here. We got this trend channel still in the mix here. We rejected it here on Thursday. Friday hit it again. All right. Now, you could say without that FOMC day, we're kind of just in a balanced range here. We'll see. Where are we now? 660, 661.50. I'm sorry, 661.50. We are at the lower third of Friday's range. Okay, lower third. Let's see if this becomes support. Now you have two daily supports there. Let's see. That's around 660. Okay. Let's move over to futures. Here's our futures. So futures, you can see the weakness for today. Right? So we'll see what happens there. Let's look at Qs. Qs made all-time highs on Friday. Relatively, that was the strength in the markets. That was the only thing that was strong. Not even strong, but positive off the open. I wouldn't even call it strong. But there you go. There's the expected move, folks. There's my indicator from last week. Notice that the Qs hit it, made an all-time high of 600.05, and then closed within the expected range. Where are we now? 596.60. 596.60. Look at where we are, boy. Right there. We're at the lower. We're pretty much at the lows of Friday. So that's what's it's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get interesting. All right. Let's look at the futures. Futures here. You can see we're right here. So in futures, it looks like we're at the midpoint. Remember, this is almost 24 hours. So, yep. Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Is this the time where people go, you know what? I'm going to take my profits in technology. Maybe we rotate. Maybe September's going to, maybe end of September, we're going to get some type of correction. Who knows? I don't know. Right? I know many people, including myself, were thinking the rate cuts were priced in. I don't know. We'll have to see, right? We'll have to see. Now, I know the 10-year yield got a little bump. Let's look at the 10-year yield, see? Hit that 3.99 support. Got bumped up. Let's see if we can create a swing high here and take that out. We'll have to see. Okay? We'll have to see. Let's look at some hourly charts now. Let's see how much we can glean from the hourly charts. Okay? Let me get my little marker tool out and look at these hourly charts together. Let's see. All right, so the darker shaded areas are the real-time trading hours, okay? Lighter shaded is your overnight. So we've just kind of sold off a little bit, right? You can see on Friday we did a little. Let me see if we scare everybody, and then we made all well in futures. Did we make all-time high futures? I think we did. And then opened up on Sunday, consolidated, broke that, consolidated. Are we going to break again? Don't know. Don't know. We still have the 6670s as your most traded price of the week. That might change today once the market opens. It's a rolling number, so this might change. All right, we do have the anchored VWAP right there. That is from your FOMC, folks. That candle, that this wick, whoop, and it acted as support once, twice, three times. Let's see the fourth time it breaks it. Don't know. Just have to watch it. Okay, so your 6670s is really, you go under that, I would be like, whoop. If we go under the 6670s and we hold it, yes, we can start the fall. But that has to happen, right? Otherwise, we're kind of still bullish. All right, let's look at your NASDAQ. And your NASDAQ's been relatively stronger. So, okay, relatively stronger here. And you can see we didn't, we did the same kind of thing in the NASDAQ. Broke these lows in the third hour of the market, and then we just whoop and pushed up, right? Consolidated really overnight. Finally took a little move lower, but we just been moving sideways for hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hours of basically not doing anything. Okay, so let's see what we do. You still have that anchored view up from FOMC. That has not even been touched. Notice the difference, right? ES, multiple touches. NASDAQ has not even touched it. And all that does is represent buyers, the average buyer from the FOMC. That has not been tested yet. Did we test it today? Don't know. Got a big demand zone here. We'll have to see. That's really. Oh, and the most share price of the rolling week is your 24540s right here. As long as you stay above that, you got to be bullish. Okay. All right, that's your hourly charts. All right, we can move on. And we'll just get into the market profile, volume profile. Let's look at that together. All right. And you'll see what I mean about like this. We're kind of like balancing out here. Okay. Let's get into it. This is your market profile, volume profile analysis here. So we're going to look at this profile. Got a couple distributions here. So glad to be out of that rollover week. All right. So we got distribution here. Distribution here. That's all your value area. Then we have the excess, right? That's from your FOMC. Okay. And you can see what we did here. FOMC rose, and you kind of just, people are going to call that a bull flag, whatever. You're kind of just like that. Okay. So at the end of the day, like I said, this level 66.97, you want to call it 6,700. If this does become your most traded price of the week in the real-time trading hours, you just got to stay above that. We'll use it today in today's analysis as well. Okay. So you can see right here, there's a high volume node, the orange. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's like the rolling monthly profile. So you can see high volume node here, here, and now in the recent trading, this has been in a high volume node. So we'll just see how it all works out. Okay. Now we can move this, zoom it up a little bit. Okay. And we'll just look at this, and we'll get some levels here. Okay. Now I was live with one of my good friends on Friday, and it sucks because I was calling out the this level when we went down here. I said it was a previous value area low for the overnights and for the day before. I said the profile's thinning out. I said this could be a long, and I believe I had an order out at 66.94 or something like that, and it just didn't get filled. It didn't get filled, and then the market just started to rip up. That would have been a nice trade. Okay, that would have been a nice trade. And because the market wasn't really strong, but once it did that and recovered, I said this could be the long, and it was. So that's what happened. Right now, that's a pretty nice session there. That's your highs and lows. That was 44-point range. So the quad witching didn't cause a pin really. Okay, it didn't really just die. So that was interesting. Now you have the overnight ranges nestled inside Friday's range, right? Got a double distribution in the overnight profile. Okay. So inside, the area, it's easy when you're like this because the area is really Friday's highs and Friday's highs and lows. That's basically what you want to play with. That's basically what you want to play with because what you're playing with is, we'll put it in there, the 6697s. That's your overnight lows, right? And you got a big demand, which is going to encompass Friday's lows. Okay. Also, value area low from Friday. So that's a big area. And underneath it, we have our 6670s. Okay. And last week's lows are all the way down here. That was because of FOMC. Okay. Now we have some nice supply zone right up here. We'll make a little box here. And what this will encompass is Friday's most traded price, the close, overnight highs, and you got the supply zone. Okay, value area high as well on Friday. So you have last week's highs up here. So you made all-time highs in futures. Okay, in futures. And you broke this poor high over here that I was talking about that was ready to be broken, and you finally broke that on Friday. I was looking for that earlier in the week, like earlier, the day before. Didn't happen. So this is really what I'm looking at. Okay, pretty easy. Now it's Monday. Not the favorite day of anybody who likes to trade. It's like getting back from the weekend. It's like not the best day sometimes. Okay, that's to say that I'm going to throw away an opportunity because I wouldn't. All right, so we're going to get right into scenarios. Let's break out this profile. It's only 30-minute bars. Okay, we'll start with the bull side. We're going to start with scenarios here. All right, here we go. All right, so most traded price is about 6,700 in the overnights. All right here, that's a dots where price is right now. And what I said is, if you break the 60, what was that? What's it going to call it? 6697s here. I think you'll probably go down to Friday's lows. So if we break these overnight lows, right? Remember, in this box, there's a lot of stuff going on. Value area low from Friday, right? And a demand zone and Friday's lows. I would just want to see how we react in here. If we come in here and the market's not that weak, right? Then I'm going to look for some type of push up with a higher low to see if I can get in there. And then we can take care of all these shorts I've been shorting. And then you work yourself up into this area, maybe 67.21. Okay, that would be a decent trade. Now, if we really quickly go down to test the 6670s, I think this could be due for a little bear trap here. If you go into this area in this demand zone and you wind up popping, retesting it, you could find yourself pushing back up. But the market can't be that weak. I won't be interested if the market's weak. Okay? That's really the longs I'd be interested in, to be honest with you. There's always a chance that we just push up into this supply, hold the 6700s, and move up and test Friday's highs as well. Okay, so those are the longs. Let's look at the shorts. All right, so we do have heavy supply right up in here. Right, so what I would like to see is maybe something like that. Maybe we push up, get weakness, find buyers, and try to break this level, 67.21s. That is the most trader price of Friday in the supply. Let's say we fail, come back over, retest it. That's a short. You're going to take out overnight lows and you're going to target this area here. All right, around below the 66.90s. If that gets taken out yet, you're going back to 66.70s, the most trader price of the rolling week in this demand zone. Now, of course, you can break and go lower. Not sure if that's in the cards today. Okay, that's what I'm really seeing in your ES. Now, if we move over to the NASDAQ, right, we can lower this. We can lower this. All right, big profile in the week profile. Okay, let's go here and see what we have. We have also inside session. Overnights are inside the session. All right, so that's going on there. We have right here, let's just make a box, okay, for your NASDAQ. You have the basically value area lows from Friday and the overnight lows and Friday's lows right here. I would say to look at that for possible buying opportunity. Now you also do have 247.50s looking like the 24-hour most trader price of the week. That's encompassed in this range as well. Okay. And then very simply, you have Friday's highs in this supply zone. It's pretty simple in the NASDAQ. Last week's highs, Friday's highs will be the same. Okay. So now our most traded price is here. I don't think because it's in the middle of the range, it's that. I mean, obviously it could still be important, but I think we stick with this. Okay. We still have a little bit of single prints here in this demand. And then, of course, you have your most traded price of the week, still 24540s. I don't know if we play with that today, but you can just tell the difference. The Nasdaq is relatively stronger, even though the technology this morning is weak. Okay, not super weak, but it has some weakness. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to start with some scenarios here. And here we go. Okay, pretty simple. I think any kind of move down, okay, the test this demand zone, value area low, the Friday's lows. I think all in here, if the market's not that weak, are all planned to get bought and try to move up. Okay. Now we do have the 24750s is heavy volume here. So let's see what that how that reacts to that price. Okay. And possibly move up like that. Okay. I think that's a possibility. Okay. Now quick move, breaking that supply. You would have some weakness, but I'd rather have it quick. A lot of them. There's so much demand here. So like I said, it would have to be quick. If it's kind of slowly moved into this area, you are going to be weak, folks. But quickness, I'm interested in something to pop up from here. Okay, that's longs. Let's get into the shorts. Short side. Okay, we have price right in here. We're in the middle of a Friday session. That's a horrible place to be. So I would want to see some movement into this supply zone and maybe even tap out of it to make all-time highs. Come back under, make some lower highs, and try to take out the overnight lows. That's your 24748s. If you do, that's also your current 24-hour most traded price. I think we can roll here. I think we would take out Friday's lows and try to test the 24650s. Like I said, there's single prints on that. You can see the volume's not much. We can really roll, folks, and go to 24540s. Underneath that, it's bearish. Underneath that is bearish. So I'm really only want to see if we move up here and the market's not that strong to try to get some type of short there. Okay, it's really all I'm interested in. I'm gonna sit back. It's Monday. Okay, and that's it, folks. That's it. Please smash the like button if you enjoyed that content and all my analysis. Okay, that would help my channel out a lot. Now, of course, I would love for you to join me every day so you can subscribe, set an alert. Let me be your morning coffee, tea, water, your choice of beverage or drink. Okay? And let me give you the market story. Do it every morning. Give you that market news, the economic calendar, just what the market, why the market's doing what it's doing. Okay? I'll always give you that straight. I will never try to tell you that I can predict anything, because whoever can is full of it. Nobody can. I could tell you my probabilities, but nobody can predict. If you could, we'd all be on yachts. Doesn't work like that. Right? And then if you hear somebody or like somebody that constantly is predicting a crash, well, they're going to be right eventually. Does that mean they're right? No. So, like right now, I could say this. I think eventually we're going to make an all-time high, and then I think we're going to see type of correction, and then I think we might see a recession possibly. All right. Here's the key. That will happen. I will be right. The timing, nobody knows. That is the thing about the market. The timing. The timing is everything. I know I could tell you guys too. Hey guys, I'm gonna predict we're gonna make all-time highs in the future and keep making new ones. What does that mean? Markets generally always go up. That's meaningless. So just be on a watch out for that. All right. Some of these people who say that they can predict, it just, you can't do that. Okay. And even if you do and you're right and you got a prediction right, I still know you can't predict. It's just probabilities. All right. So if you want some real talk about markets, okay, real talk, you're going to join my Discord, Confluence Trading. Okay, go to the YouTube homepage, click on the link, sign up, join the community. Get your free expected move indicator. That expected move I run over the weekend or every Monday morning based on the options market. Then they tell you what's priced in, the range that's priced in, the expected move, which is the range, by Friday. Okay, 70% of the time stocks will close within that range. Then you have some outliers. We did have some outliers last week. But again, the majority of the stocks that I don't mention all closed inside their expected moves. Okay? So, join up, sign up, get your free indicator. All right? That's it for me, folks, for today. All right? Now, hopefully I see you in my Discord. If I don't, I will see everybody tomorrow morning. All right? Have a great